But President Trump pulled the U.S. out completely in 2018. He said it didn't do enough to stop Iran's weapons program. The U.S. restored sanctions, and a year later, Iran started ignoring the limits altogether. Atomic experts have said Iran is now just a short step away from enriching its uranium stockpile to weapons-grade levels. Joining us tonight for more insight is Behnam Taleblu, senior fellow and Iran expert with the Foundations for Defense of Democracies. Behnam, thanks for being here. I know you're no great fan of the JCPOA, but we're gonna get right to the heart of this, and no filibustering. We're live. Is this deal happening or not?
Chance, it's a pleasure to be with you again, and you're absolutely right in the sense that that's the million-dollar question. And for the past 18 months, when that indirect nuclear diplomacy has been going on, to resurrect a lesser version of that 2015 nuclear deal, that has always been the outsized question, and it's always been posed to one person, to a man whose title is meant to be taken quite literally inside the Islamic Republic, Supreme Leader of Iran, Sayyid Ali Khamenei. And for the past 18 months, he's demurred, he's grown his program, he's reduced the inspections footprint, he's tried to garner more guarantees out of Washington, tried to elicit more sanctions relief, tried to prepare the domestic ground just a little bit, but not a lot. And ultimately, it's his deal to have, it's his deal to lose. Don't just take my word for it, take French President Emmanuel Macron's for it, where after about a month of European diplomacy this August with the U.S. and Iran commenting on one another's drafts, Macron said the ball is in Iran's court. I'm inclined to agree with the French president today.
Okay, and according to Jewish Insider, it's a news outlet, about 30 House Democrats have written to President Biden with their concerns about a new deal being reached with Iran. We know Republicans don't love this deal, they never did. Why is the White House so intent on this?
Well, right now, you mentioned an interesting change. The Iran issue, unfortunately, has become hyper-partisan, particularly in 2015, when Democrats supported the deal and Republicans opposed it. And then in 2018, when Republicans largely supported Trump's withdrawal and Democrats largely were against Trump's withdrawal of that deal. These cleavages, these percents in the partisan cleavages have changed just a little bit, but the longer this indirect diplomacy has gone on and the greater Iran's program has progressed in these 18 months, particularly in irreversible ways identified not just by me, but by Europeans and other non-proliferation experts, there has been a potential shifting of the sands in Congress. And you're seeing more and more Democrats, particularly in May, you saw some more voices in the Senate, particularly the Senate Foreign Relations Committee raised some questions, raised some concerns. Senator Menendez was key among those individuals. And then now on the House side with those signatures that you mentioned, there's a little bit more of a growing chorus, not just on the potential terrorism relief that could come through a deal that's supposed to be nuclear only, but on the other side, of course, which is what is the end state? What is the desire? Are we just kicking the can down the road for 1 year, 2 years and paying more and getting less? And this is causing a little bit of this partisan shifting of the sands. So the Biden administration ultimately is still interested in resurrecting a bit of this Democratic Party dogma as much as the Republican Party is interested in opposing it, but is taking into account these new shifting domestic balances. Another reason, of course, is that they're not really as interested in the Middle East anymore.
Back in 2014, we all became familiar with the term breakout.
They're more inclined to sell this as an oil deal.
Okay, so just bottom line here, straight talk, Behnam. The Biden and Obama teams insist a deal, it would keep Iran from going nuclear. The breakout period would be longer. President Biden was on the phone with Israel, saying we will never let them have a nuclear weapon. Would this deal achieve that?
Ultimately, this deal would pave the way for an Iranian nuclear weapon, in my view. It's not a permanent solution. It's a handcuffing of the sections of the deal that we now know enough about, particularly some of the declared sites, some of the declared facilities, some of the declared uranium enrichment infrastructure. And it allows, again, low enrichment to continue inside Iran, despite between 2006 and 2010, 5 UN Security Council resolutions to the contrary. So what the deal ultimately does, it's a bit of a Faustian bargain. It's designed to buy time. And there's nothing wrong with buying time in international relations, but things have progressed so drastically in 2021 and 2022 that it's not the Iranian nuclear program of 2013 to 2015 when the JCPOA was being negotiated. And in this sense, what you have now is you're kicking the can down the road, but in a way that's going to bounce back off of that wall and hit you in the face because it buys considerably less time. And that is one reason for this growing kind of nonpartisan or bipartisan opposition that some are seeing in the House at the moment.
That's why you see some people voicing concern, and of course people at the White House and people of similar minds saying we absolutely have to do this and we have to do it now. Behnam Taleblu, as always, thank you.